I know many of you have been waiting for a follow-up to that first Restore and Protect video, but unfortunately I sold the red V70XC before I reached the full oil change interval. I was a little over halfway, so I suppose I could have drained the oil and shared my findings, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really have the space for 4 cars, let alone the time to film a bunch of overlapping content, so that car had to go down the road in order for this one to come home. That being said, I do have some things to share from after that first oil change interval and kind of during the second. One thing everyone wanted to see after that first oil change was a shot of the oil, and I didn't share one at the time because it didn't look any different from any other synthetic oil I have ever drained from any car. After emptying the drain pan to recycle the oil, I noticed a bunch of carbon on the bottom. With all the oil changes I've ever done, I have never seen something like this before, so it's just further proof that this oil is actually working. It's breaking down whatever carbon deposits are inside the engine and carrying them out when you change the oil. As for consumption during the second round, I did have to add a little bit of oil, but if I'm being totally honest, I've never kept track of how much oil this engine consumed. I basically spent so long tracking down every single oil leak that popped up that by the time I thought I had it all figured out, I thought maybe it was consuming a little bit of oil, and I started using Valvoline Restore and Protect. So I don't have a good control to go off of, but I will say that it seemed to last longer than ever before. Either it's not leaking at all and it's just consuming a little bit, or maybe I have another leak popped up somewhere. I received a comment on the first video about a burning oil smell, and the only time I noticed that was right after I topped off the oil. So at the time I figured it was a couple drips burning off of a hot surface because it didn't last very long and it really wasn't that intense. That being said, if you've noticed a burning oil smell while using Restore and Protect, please leave a comment because I'd like to know, and I'm sure that original commenter would too. The other thing a lot of you were curious about were the oil fill grates. I never noticed a difference with those. I think this oil has to be hot and moving around in order to break down the carbon deposits, and you're getting neither of that up at the top of the engine by those fill grates. Another thing people were curious about or commenting on was fuel economy, so I'll share that I noticed the slightest bump in fuel economy, though most of my driving is in a suburban area, so like 35 to 55 miles an hour with a bunch of traffic lights. That's not really advantageous for fuel economy to begin with, so I'm probably not the best person to ask. As far as this car goes, I'm not sure if it'll be getting Restore and Protect yet. It came with a fresh oil change and has needed some other work, so oil has been low on my priority list. I need to check the spec for the engine, the spec for the oil, see if they're compatible. If they are and I do use Restore and Protect, I'll be sure to make videos about it. Lastly, I want to thank everyone for sharing their positive experiences on that previous video. It just shows how great this product really is because basically everyone had something good to say about it. So thank you for sharing all your experiences. It helps everybody out. Thank you for watching this video, and as you know from that previous one, I try to answer everyone's questions or comments, so if you got them, leave them below. Thanks for watching, everybody.